Welcome, my name is Karen Field Bullock, and this is lesson number 16 in my course, A Spiritual Path to True Love. This lesson is a continuation of the last one. Last time I talked about forgiving others for hurting you by working to understand their possible and probable views and motivations. The idea is that with enough understanding, you can look back at the person and event as something like an ancient Greek tragedy, where every character has good qualities and also tragic flaws. Instead of a story of good versus evil, where you're the good guy and whoever hurt you is the bad guy. Let me say, though, that the deep understanding I'm talking about does not mean psychoanalyzing someone. That is mostly, in my opinion, labeling a person's behavior, as if the label equates to understanding the person. It does not. Deep understanding from a spiritual standpoint means being considerate, assuming a positive motivation beneath the negatives, even other negative motivations, and considering things from their point of view, however distorted you may think it is. Beyond that, consider that although you each probably loved each other in your own ways, or in some ways, you might have held different concepts of what love is, and especially how it should be expressed. You may be at different stages of your individual spiritual evolution, which affects personal ethics. You may operate according to reality maps that clash in some respects. Perhaps you have different communication styles, different thinking styles, different ways of handling stress and resolving disagreements. Also, different fears, different demons that you have to deal with. We all have limitations, and we're all works in progress. By seeing yourself and your loved one, or ex, in these many ways, it frees you up to move through the grief process, stop passing judgment, accept the hurtful situation, and let go of your old expectations. If you do that, your anger will dissipate on its own. But even with most of your anger wiped off the slate, you may still be stuck with residual bad feelings. In this lesson, I'm going to present a variety of techniques that can help you more fully clear your emotional baggage. Before I get into the techniques, though, there are 3 ground rules that you need to follow if you hope to succeed. First, you have to find either a positive or at least a neutral answer to the question, why did this happen to me? Why did I have to go through this? If you believe that you've been hurt in that relationship because you're stupid, because you're unlucky, because you were being punished, because you always attract deficient people, or because you think life is unfair, or for any other very negative reason, you may never completely shake your undercurrent of bad feelings. A more neutral answer to the why me question is to take the Taoist view that no event is good or bad, because what seems bad one day might turn out to be good the next day. Say you get a crush on someone and they promptly reject you. You feel bad. But later you see this person with someone else and you notice they're acting abusive. The so-called bad event of being rejected turns out to have been a good thing. You've dodged a bullet. The Taoist philosophy says that when things seem to go wrong, it might be for the best. Now from there, it's a short leap to the popular belief that things usually work out for the best. If you believe that, you've got a slightly more hopeful philosophy to help you succeed. Better yet, if you accept the law of attraction proposition that you've attracted that hurtful relationship precisely so that you could grow exactly the way you've needed to grow to become more ready for the love of your dreams, that belief lends purpose to your pain, while energizing you with greater hope for your future. The second ground rule is that you have to want to recover. This may sound obvious, but here's what it means. It means you have to be willing to ditch your self-pity and your self-righteousness, along with your good guy, bad guy thinking. Self-pity, self-righteousness, demonizing others, and seeking sympathy from others are common reactions after a person feels seriously wounded. Probably most of us go through these feelings, at least momentarily. I want to point out that it's unloving to belittle or scold people for indulging in self-pity, although it's equally unloving to play into it. What's best is to understand it with respect and compassion, and then when they're ready, encourage them to figure out how to grow and learn from their tough experience. People sometimes cling to their victim status because they feel it proves that they're a good person despite their failures in life. And of course, everyone has some goodness inside. But they fear that letting go of their victim status will leave them looking like a total loser compared to most people. And that seems to them to be very unfair. It's the nature of victimization that the victim is a loser, whether by being tortured, raped, beaten, robbed, slashed, stalked, despised, degraded, discriminated against, insulted, mocked, fooled, used, stepped on, ignored, or whatever. So, if this is you, then to give up your poor me mindset and simply be a loser in the eyes of the world, where others seem relatively advantaged, you need to not only move through the grief process, but also develop a long-term plan for transforming your life, such as it is, into a success story that the world will respect. That plan will help you start feeling competitive and hopeful, believing you can ultimately prove to yourself and to the world how good you really are. The third ground rule is that whatever technique you try it with an open mind. You don't need to believe the technique will work in order for it to work, but you do need to be open to the idea that it might possibly work, or else your closed-mindedness will ensure that you fail. Just skip any techniques mentioned here that don't sound right for you, or that you seriously doubt will work, so that you don't waste your time. Okay, now for the techniques. I'll start with some spiritual techniques: gratitude, prayer, affirmation, and meditation. For scientific and professional assessments of these techniques, I've listed some references below. A great technique to start with is gratitude. Expressing gratitude is a practice, a habit of mind. It is essentially being truthful with yourself about the many good things in your life you'd otherwise take for granted. You can express gratitude in prayer, through affirmations, silent daily reflections, in conversation, or in a journal. But no matter how you express it, taking the time to appreciate your life, your health, your food, shelter, and clothing, your loved ones, friendships, community, your talents, your belongings, your opportunities, and even your challenges will gradually brighten up your general outlook. Expressing gratitude on a regular basis, giving conscious thought to what's already good in your life, balances out your normal focus on the problems and challenges before you each day. If you'd like to pray, here's a prayer to try. Dear God, thank you for all the challenges and lessons you have led me to on my path to true love. Show me the attitudes that will foster my personal growth and emotional recovery. And guide me to recognize more of my own goodness and the goodness of others through my experiences, so that I will be ready for the greater love I desire. Amen. Another short prayer I love is this one. Dear God, thank you for the good life you've given me at this very moment. Help me to see the greater good in the way things are right now. Amen. And here's an affirmation. I now choose to release outworn traits and attitudes that no longer serve my interests, and to become more aware of more of my true goodness, so that others can more easily perceive it too. Here are 3 meditation techniques to consider. First, there's heart-focused breathing. This comes to us from the HeartMath Association. They say to focus your attention on the heart area of your chest and breathe slowly, about 5 seconds in and 5 seconds out, while imagining that you're breathing the air straight in and out through your chest directly into and out of your heart. They suggest to do this exercise for about a minute at a time. Their research shows that this meditation can help you regulate your emotions, including anger. Second, online I recommend meditations produced by a woman named Melanie Beckler, who channels angels. With her meditations, you just sit and allow her to lead you through each one. Whether you believe in it or not, if you can turn off your mental chatter and relax, it's an easy system to experiment with to see how it affects you. Third, an advanced meditation I recommend is a mystical meditation in something called the Akashic Records. The Akashic Records are a big subject, but if it sounds interesting to you, you can read the book How to Read the Akashic Records, written by Dr. Linda Howe, Howe. To learn more about the meditation, look for Dr. Howe's YouTube videos as well. While the basic meditation technique is fairly simple to do because you're reading a script, I found it to be a transformative practice. Physical approaches to clearing negative emotions include eating right, exercising regularly, getting enough sleep, and so on. Having good habits is important. You can meditate and pray all day, every day, but if you're sleep deprived and you're stuffing yourself with junk food, sooner or later, your body will feel bad, which will bring you down emotionally and reduce your energy and optimism. Yet to me, it's not exactly about following your diet, exercise routine, and schedule of rest, sleep, work, and social life that will make you feel better. Instead, it's feeling satisfied with each of these activities that will put you in a positive frame of mind so you can slough off negativity. If you exercise as a chore and you don't really enjoy the kind of exercise that you do, you'll be grumbling under your breath, and you'll probably find ways to avoid it sooner or later. So, do exercises you enjoy on a regular basis, even if it's just a little bit. At work, if you strive for a work-life balance in terms of hours, but don't get a sense of satisfaction from your work, or maybe from your schedule, you'll still feel out of balance. So, consider changing jobs or readjust your schedule until it feels right. Likewise, if you follow a diet that you believe is healthy, and yet it's not satisfying, you'll walk around carrying residual frustration all the time. Of course, if you don't eat a healthy diet, it's likely that your health will break down prematurely. And knowing that alone can cause you an ongoing undercurrent of fearfulness. The trick is to find foods that are energizing, good for your body, and satisfying. I recommend that you read books by spiritual medium Anthony William, whose dietary ideas have worked wonders for me. Remember Albert Einstein? He towered above his fellow scientists, not because of his superior logic, but because of his incredible, non-logical, but accurate intuition. Similarly, Anthony William uses his amazing spiritual channeling ability to leapfrog today's body of scientific knowledge and discuss root causes of diseases that he says are misunderstood or unknown to today's researchers. I think it would be great to see scientists do research on those who follow his dietary advice. Williams states that when people can't seem to let go of certain grievances, it can be due to a liver problem. One of his many suggestions is that ginger root can help cleanse our emotional wounds. In fact, he describes what he calls the spiritual properties of a wide range of fruits, vegetables, herbs, and spices. Now, if Williams' dietary advice doesn't work for you, why not read other diet books? I don't mean quick weight loss diet books, but rather books on diets designed for health. Although any diet that you find that's truly healthy for you will automatically take the extra pounds off. Keep searching until you find a way of eating that's not only healthy for you, but also enjoyable, energizing, and satisfying. Finally, here are some psychological techniques. If you are seriously depressed or angry, you may need professional help. Seek the help that feels right to you. However, be careful about what your professional recommends. If it's a lifetime of drug dependence, at least take a look at articles by psychiatrist Dr. Kelly Brogan. She began her psychiatric practice in the traditional way, but observed over time that most of her patients were not getting well through the standard treatment protocols. She teaches a feeling approach that dovetails with Dr. Elizabeth Kubler-Ross's 5 stages of grief, which I've discussed in earlier lessons. In my experience, allowing myself to feel emotional pain has dramatically expanded my ability to feel pleasure. Another way to tap into any subliminal bad feelings is through a psychosexual approach. Laurie Handlers, a Tantric sex teacher and coach, offers simple techniques to become aware of your anger and other bad feelings through body movement and sound, so that you can clear them out. She also says that by practicing these techniques and getting in touch with your body and emotions before having sex, you'll set yourself up to have a more exciting experience. And Sergio Magan, a Mexican spiritual leader who teaches the ancient Toltec traditions through his books, offers many fascinating self-healing techniques. For example, he describes a technique in which you wear a ritual mask while looking at and talking to yourself in the mirror. You tell yourself your life story, including your tales of woe, as if confiding in a therapist. He says that doing this 36 days straight for 30 to 45 minutes a day wearing the mask will cause an internal shift. You'll detach from the drama, burden, and baggage of your personal history, and it will stop affecting you. I haven't actually tried this one, but I've tried other techniques, other meditations, healing meditations written about by Sergio Magan that have been very powerful. So I would recommend it. My main message today is this. Once you work deeply to deeply understand the person who hurt you, it's eminently possible for you to find ways to clean up your emotional slate. This lesson only scratches the surface of all the emotional healing techniques out there. Good luck in trying any techniques that speak to you. Next time, I'll go into detail about how to know whether your love relationship is true love. Bye for now.